Hi everyone, I'm Chad Shoop, and today I want to talk about earnings and how that can impact the stock market. But first, I just want to make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. There's a link below this video, so just scroll down. You can make sure that you click on that to subscribe, so that way you don't miss any video updates that we send out. You'll get a notification whenever a new video is posted to YouTube. So I'm going to talk about earnings today and how that can impact the direction of the stock market. And I know a lot of you are investors yourselves, and you know earnings play a big part in the stock market. So if you have any comments on earnings, I'd love to hear those, how you use earnings in your own trading strategies, or any benefits that you've seen from following earnings in companies. Now, today we're mainly going to focus on the fact that earnings can have an impact on the direction of the stock market. And I'm bringing this up now because when you look at the first quarter of 2019, January through March, the S&P 500 rose nearly 15% over that 3-month period. It was a very strong rally that we went through, and you would think that everything was robust and going well for these companies as well. But over that same 3-month period, as the earnings estimates were coming out for corporations, the overall earnings per share for the companies in the S&P 500 actually fell over 7%. So they have a very sharp contrast to what the actual stock market did, where the stock market was rising and these corporate earnings were falling pretty fast. And a lot of people will look at that and think that there is a big mismatch in what is going on here, that we have weak earnings that are about to be announced here in the next couple of weeks through April and May. And the stock market's really got overhyped and overpriced on this rebound rally that we've seen. But what you got to keep in mind is that earnings are backwards looking. So they're looking back at the first 3 months of this year and what was happening then. They're not really looking ahead at what's going to happen over the next 3 months or the next 12 months or any other big changes that are taking place that could impact the future. Earnings are always a backwards looking indicator for the stock market. So when earnings come out, it's really not all about the numbers. Yes, we want to see how companies did over those first 3 months. Were they able to do better than the lowered expectations that we have already set out? But we also want to get the commentary on what they see already happening in the second quarter and what they expect for the rest of the year. So that tends to weigh more once earnings are announced on how the stock market will react. But when you see a mismatch like we've seen this quarter, where earnings are falling but the S&P 500 is rising, don't really panic about it too much. Don't think that it's this big ominous sign that the market's going to plunge as we head into this next quarter of earnings, because earnings are backwards looking and investors in the stock market are always looking forward. They're always looking ahead to see what's coming next. So I've developed a system that's actually based around earnings, but it sticks with that forward-looking momentum, and it doesn't try to bet on how a stock is going to trade during earnings. When it announces earnings, you see a lot of volatility, but instead it doesn't trade before earnings, it comes in after earnings, and we're able to pick up on some significant profits in just a matter of weeks by doing that, by staying forward focused, by looking ahead at how the stock market's going to react to that news and not trying to jump in before and bet on all those possible scenarios after a company announces earnings. So if you want to learn more about that, there will be a link below this video that you can learn more about that strategy and how I use earnings to generate massive profits in the stock market. And if you want to read more about my article that's talking about the current first quarter earnings and how the S&P 500 has been able to rise during that time period, there will also be a link below this video for you to read more on that. So that's all for my video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure that you are subscribed to our channel so that way you don't miss out on any more video updates. Well, until next time, I'm Chad Shoop.